Hello, my dear bachas. Welcome back. I know, exams are just around the corner and things can feel a little stressful, but don't you worry. We're going to quickly go through this super important chapter, breathing and gas exchange. I'll make it so simple you'll remember it all perfectly. Chalo, let's get started.
First things first, have you ever wondered about this? Think about it. You can go for days without eating, maybe a day or so without water, but without air, you can't even last for a few minutes. So what's the big deal? What's so special about the air we breathe?
Well, the secret, my bachas, is energy. You see, every single cell in your body, and there are trillions of them, is like a tiny little factory. To produce energy, these factories need to burn the fuel from your food, glucose. And what do they need to burn it? Oxygen. That's the power you use for everything, from studying for your exams to playing cricket with your friends to even just watching your favorite YouTube videos. No oxygen means no power. Simple, Anna.
Okay, so we know we need this super important oxygen, but how does it get from the air outside all the way into our cells? Well, our body has an amazing system for it. Just think of it like a perfectly built superhighway designed to bring the fresh air right into our lungs. Let's take a ride on this highway.
Here we go. This diagram right here is our complete roadmap. It shows the entire path right from the entry point, our nostrils, all the way down to the deepest part of our lungs. You ready? Let's trace it together.
So here's the journey, step by step. First, air enters through the nostrils. Then it passes through the pharynx, which is like a common lobby for both air and food. After that, it goes past the larynx, which is your voice box. Then it's down the main highway, the trachea or the windpipe. This main road then splits into smaller roads called bronchi, which then branch out into even smaller lanes called bronchioles. And where's the final stop? These tiny air sacs called the alveoli.
All right, so we've got the highway for the air, but a car doesn't move on its own, right? It needs an engine. So how does our body actually work like a machine to pull air in and then push it back out? Let's check out the mechanics.
Just look at these two pictures. On the left, you see what happens when you breathe in. That's inspiration. See how the rib cage moves up and out, and that muscle at the bottom, the diaphragm, pulls down? The whole chest area gets bigger. Now look at the right. When you breathe out, everything just relaxes and goes back to its original size. This is a perfect summary for your exam. You could even take a screenshot. When you breathe in, your muscles contract, making your chest bigger. This increase in volume causes the pressure inside to drop, and air from the outside just rushes in to fill the space. When you breathe out, it's the total opposite. The muscles relax, the chest gets smaller, pressure increases, and the air is simply pushed out. If you understand this, you're all set for this topic.
Okay, time for a quick pop quiz. This is a classic one-mark question that comes up a lot in exams, so pay attention. What is tidal volume, or TV? Have a think.
Did you get it? The answer is tidal volume is simply the amount of air you breathe in and out during one normal, relaxed breath. Yeah, just like the one you're taking right now as you listen to me. That's it. It's about 500 mLs. Just write this simple definition, and you'll get full marks. Paka!
All right, so the air has traveled all the way down the highway and has reached its final destination, the alveoli. So what happens now? Well, this is where the real magic happens. This is the entire point of breathing, the great gas exchange. Look at this. Each alveolus is like a tiny balloon. And each of these millions of balloons is wrapped in a superfine net of blood vessels. We call them capillaries. Now, the walls of the balloon and the walls of the net are incredibly thin. This is super important for what happens next.
So what makes the gases move between the alveoli and the blood? It's a simple physics rule called a pressure gradient. Now, don't let that fancy name scare you. It just means that gases will always move from an area where there's high pressure to an area where there's low pressure. Just like a cricket ball will always roll down a hill, not up it.
And here's the proof. Just look at the numbers in this table. The pressure of oxygen, or PO2, in the alveoli is high, 104, but in the blood that's arriving there, it's low, only 40. So where will the oxygen go? From high to low, right? Pop! It jumps into the blood. Now look at carbon dioxide, PCO2. Its pressure is higher in the blood, 45, and lower in the alveoli, 40, so it naturally moves out of the blood. It's all just simple pressure differences.
So, to put it all together, think of it this way. Oxygen is waiting at the bus stop, which is the alveoli. The red blood cell taxi pulls up. Oxygen quickly jumps into the taxi.
At the very same moment, the waste product, carbon dioxide, which was already in the taxi, gets dropped off at the bus stop to be exhaled. A perfect, quick swap that happens with every single breath you take. Okay, so the oxygen has hopped into its blood taxi. But now what? The taxi has to go somewhere, right? It needs to deliver this precious oxygen to every single part of your body. Your brain so you can think, your legs so you can run, everywhere. So let's talk about this transport system.
So what exactly is this amazing taxi service for oxygen? Well, it's a special protein found in our red blood cells, and its name is hemoglobin. And it is incredibly good at its job. Look at this. A whopping 97% of oxygen hitches a ride with hemoglobin. It's the VIP ride. Only a very tiny amount just dissolves directly in the blood.
I know, a graph. But don't get scared. This one is actually your friend, I promise. This S-shaped curve just shows how clever hemoglobin is. Think of it as a smart delivery driver. When it's in the lungs, where there's tons of oxygen, it loads up and holds onto it tightly. But when it reaches the tissues that are starved for oxygen, it knows that's the drop-off point and easily releases it. What a smart system, nah?
And what about the return journey for the waste product, carbon dioxide? Well, it has a few different ways to travel back. Most of it, a huge 70%, actually changes its form and travels as something called bicarbonate. This is the main method and the most important one to remember for your exam, okay? Some of it does catch a ride back with hemoglobin, and a little bit just dissolves in the plasma.
We are almost at the end, Bachas. Just two last quick things to cover. First, who's the boss running this whole automatic show? And second, what are some of the common problems that can happen in our respiratory system?
You're not sitting there thinking, okay, time to breathe in. Now, time to breathe out, right? It all just happens automatically. That's because you have a main control room in your brain. It's called the Respiratory Rhythm Center, and it's located in a part of the brain called the medulla. This is the big boss, making sure everything runs smoothly 24/7, even when you're fast asleep.
Finally, for your exams, you must know these three key disorders. First is asthma. Just think inflammation of the airways. It makes the breathing tubes swell up and makes it hard to breathe. Second is emphysema. This means damage to the alveoli walls. It reduces the surface area for gas exchange, and it's very often caused by smoking. And third are occupational disorders, which is lung damage caused by inhaling dust over a long time at certain jobs, like in mines or stone-breaking factories.
And that's it. Our super quick revision is done. Just take a moment and think about it. This entire beautiful, complex symphony is happening inside your body right now, this very second, without you even having to think about it. Isn't that just mind-blowing? Keep that sense of wonder with you when you study. All the very, very best for your exams, my bachas. I know you're going to do great. Go for it.